the number of people in this country who have to hide what they believe is in the many tens of millions. I try not to politicize the happiness hour, but politics impinges terribly, unfortunately. Over the course of the last few years, during the time when life was normal and you could travel normally, and I had lectures just about every week and flew just about every week, people would come over to me in airports. There has not been a time in decades that I have not been approached at an airport by at least one person. And in the last few years, something very ominous has taken place. People will look around before they say anything to me, and then in a hushed voice tell me that they are conservative or supported the president at the time, President Trump. That Americans need to look around before they tell you their political preference is new in American history. So that means, getting back to my theme, that a lot of you hide who you are much of your life, like at work. That is not a happiness-inducing situation, is it? So, in light of that, you need to find kindred spirits. I told you, I think, I had this dream of starting kindredspirits.com. Anyway, I've told you all of my life with regard to the happiness hour that we should date for friends like we dated for a spouse. But I think that people are self-conscious about doing so. What's the matter? You can't find a friend? You have to go on the internet? I don't know why not. What's the difference where you find the friend? The trick is to find them. And to speak with them and to open up to them. It's a health benefit, apparently. Having friends is the equivalent of adding to life what not smoking cigarettes adds. That's what I think I read a number of times. Having a religious community or a religion, active in a religion, adds years to your life. Apparently having a dog does. I have all three. I should live forever. I do smoke cigars. That, I believe, does add to my life because of the relaxation and the risk. The risk versus relaxation ratio is pretty high in the direction of relaxation. So the happiness hour during this period of difficulty, to understate the case, is asking what you have worked out, and have you taken my advice? That's a call I'd really love to take. Yeah, you know what? I took your advice, Dennis, looked for kindred spirits and people I could actually open up to. 1-8-PRAGER-776 877-243-7776 is the number to reach me. It is a challenging time. This is the way I look at it. In the micro, in our personal lives, for most people, there are real challenges to happiness. A child who is difficult, a parent who is difficult, a troubled marriage, personal finances. I mean, there are so many arenas. Somebody's health in my life, including perhaps your own. But we have, as Americans, generally been able to isolate the pain inducers, the happiness reducers, or challengers, that might be a better word, to the micro. to those personal issues. Yeah, well, is it a challenge to my happiness, or I am not so happy these days because, and then you fill in my child, my parent, my spouse, my marriage, my health, my my income. But it's been for most people living in this country. The challenges to happiness have been those things, have been the personal. We have taken for granted that the country, the society, will not be a source of pain and misery. The American way of looking at things was, let the state leave you alone so that you can have your own problems. That's right. That's basically the view. Nobody guarantees happiness. But that is no longer the case. I certainly, speaking for myself, 98.43% of my unhappiness, to the extent that I have it, and I do, and I combat it, and I act cheerful, is induced by what's happening in my society. It's an amazing thing. This is a first for most Americans, that the state is impinging directly on their happiness level. 1-8-Prager-776.